It's Wellness Wednesdays. It's Wellness Wednesdays, and this Wellness Wednesday is, as you can tell by the title, about doing hard things. I am right in the middle of doing hard things. The final episode of Boss Fight is murdering me. Um, I didn't think of the fact that when I had this great idea to play a whole bunch of different characters, that, oh, right, a 20-minute scene with 4 characters in it is 20 minutes of content times multiple takes. So we go up to, 3 or 4 takes per thing. 80 minutes of content times 4 characters. Yeah, hours and hours of footage that have to be, take selected, cut down, put in. It's a grotesque amount of work. And it's hard and it's tedious and everything is difficult because of COVID. The TShirt packages are ready to go. There's a bin right in the background of t-shirts ready to be shipped out. But I talked about this before, that the Canada Post Office won't accept a package to weigh without a shipping label, and I can't generate a shipping level with their handy dandy small business software without a weight. We're working on that problem. Then I finally got the art prints ready for that tier. People have been asking me about that. That's one of the more popular tiers. People want that original art. Finally got them printed. Envelopes, the fancy photo mailer envelopes were not in stock. I had to order them, and so I'm waiting. Everything is just hard. And it's destructive to my mental health because it should not be this hard. All right, I bit off more than I could chew in the concept of how difficult this episode to be. That's on me. Not being able to ship a fucking package, which was easy fucking peasy when I did Lady Bits, that's not on me. And that's the first step to dealing with hard things. Kick your own ass only for the stuff that actually is your fault, and only control what you can control. There is absolutely fuck all I can do about this post office stuff. What we're end up doing is my husband's at the post office right now, and he's going to send, we took because it's different weights, right? A medium t-shirt is not the same size and weight as a 4XL t-shirt. The 4XLs are 3 times the size minimum of the medium t-shirts. They take an extra envelope size. So I can't just go, oh, here's a medium t-shirt. I'm going to put all the same weight, because some people had multiple t-shirts, right? So it's okay, we have the baby bear, the mama bear, and the papa bear package. He's going to try to get those weighed and send those out one at a time manually. And then we're going to use those weights for everything else. That's how we're attempting to solve this problem. Stay tuned as to whether it works. That's all we can do. And all we can do is do patient with it and hope other people are patient with it. For the most part, people are being fairly understanding. COVID is a thing. I guess it's a bit harder for Americans to sort of understand what we're dealing with up here, because many parts of the US did not have the same aggressive, really aggressive, prolonged lockdowns that we did up here. And for the most part, it was fine. We managed. It's these little things that are super difficult. You guys know I have, ongoing health challenges, autoimmune disease stuff that I deal with as well, TMJ, all that stuff. Well, that's become a problem lately because I see a specialist every 3 or so months. Before I see the specialist, I have to get a blood test, and once a year I have to get my eyes checked because one of the drugs I'm on can affect your eyesight. And every single time I have gone to get blood work, it's a different practice. The first time, you could walk in and just wait. They had a physically distanced line. No problem. You're there for a while. Bring a book. The second time, I was prepared for that because it is difficult for me to book things multiple weeks in advance. And in order to do a pre-booked appointment, it's 2 weeks in advance. I don't know what I'm doing 2 days from now in some cases because things come up, but which is real fun with an autoimmune disease, let me tell you. But the second time, no, you show up, you get a time where you come back. I'm like, all right, this makes sense. But they warned me that time, oh no, the process is changing. When you come back, there's no walk-ins. But they insisted there's going to be more appointments available, so it's not going to be booked up 2 weeks in advance. Well, the first part was true. There's no walk-ins. Not being booked up 2 weeks in advance, not true. Still booked up 2 weeks in advance. So that was fun. I had to call my specialist and find out how long in advance I need to do the test. Apparently just squeaked in. I'm good. But that's 2 days the last week of the month that, it's medical shit. I can't be sitting here all day just nose to the grindstone. And I just want to scream. Like, I am so done. And, I'm having allergy problems and this, that, and the next thing for the last 2 weeks, on and off, but more on than off. I have just felt like I've had a low-level flu. My throat is sore. My eyes are burning. And, people are like, oh, take a break, self-care. And then I've got somebody going, hey, where's this thing? And it's like, well, so much for breaks and self-care. Sometimes life is just hard. Sometimes all you can do is just get through it. And what I've found is during those hard times, the worst thing you can do is try to deny that it feels shitty and try to deny that it's hard. It's not a failure because you have to deal with hard things. Getting through hard things is what makes you a success, right? But downplaying how hard something is doesn't make it any easier, right? This is what having chronic illness taught me. Like, no, this is hard. And this is hard in ways people can't see. And so people think they're being sympathetic and understanding. They're really not. And sometimes it just sucks. And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you can pre-plan and go, all right, that company, I'm never taking another contract with that company. They don't recognize that, you'll get my best work as long as you're not expecting me to be instantly reachable 14 hours a day, which they shouldn't do to anybody, right? They shouldn't. That's bad management. It's bad business. But it happens a lot in video games. It happens a lot in indie dev. It sucks. There's nothing you can do about it except, think about building your own company where that practice doesn't happen. Easier said than done. That also is hard. I find that trying to tell myself it's not that bad, that I'm just complaining, all that stuff, and I'll suck it up, I find that just makes it worse. I find myself being more tired and more discouraged and more, constantly on the verge of tears. It helps me better to go, yeah, this is bullshit. This sucks. This isn't fair. This certainly isn't fun. Head down, get through it. And, other members of my family think that's a negative attitude. I don't agree. I think that the best way to successfully overcome problems, difficult things, is to correctly assess the difficult things, right? And by correctly assessing the difficult things, you can look back after it's over and you got through it and go, yeah, that was really hard. So the next time a hard thing comes up, You can look back and say, you can get through hard things. If you downplay how hard something is in a sort of, fake bravado, fake bravery, you never build up that resilience. And one thing I've noticed, this is going to sound like it's coming out of left field, but hear me out. Western media has that square-jawed anti-hero protagonist thing where, they get shot and just kind of go ow and they keep going, and by the end they're all bloody and they got bits of glass on them and they got like a black eye and everything like that, and they're still like, I'm a badass. You watch anime and there's much more characters in battle having moments where they don't think they can do it, where they break down, where they have doubts. It happens, I find, more often than not, at least in the stuff that I watch. And it's so much healthier and so much more true to life and so much more something that real people can emulate of, yeah, have that moment where you're feeling sorry for yourself. It'll pass. You got it out. You face the doubts. Now on with it, right? And that doubting, those weak moments are part of the process, not failures. And for all the criticism anime gets for depictions of things, I actually think that elements like that are much healthier than Western media that set these standards of so-called bravery that are more like stupidity. Like, it's not bravery if nothing ever hurts you, right? Bravery is knowing something's really gonna suck and facing it anyway. And you can't build up that ability to face things that suck unless you admit they suck. Makes sense, right? So why haven't we internalized this in the West more? Well, there's a bunch of different reasons that I'm not going to get into because it really doesn't matter. The point is they're not helpful. And there are alternatives that we can, that's the nice thing about media that sort of speaks to certain things in different types of media. So you see different types of characters that you can kind of apply to different situations, right? That something that's helpful for one person, the process for one person, is not going to be the process for another person, because people's brains work differently. And, there's a reason that this stuff is you don't get it on the first try, right? These whole things would be much easier if one-size-fits-all solutions worked. And unfortunately, the problem with a lot of conventional psychotherapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, is it has become very workbook-driven, one-size-fits-all. And that doesn't work for everybody because people do not come in one-size-fits-all. See the discussion I had about the T-shirts, right? So that's why I do these videos. It's for people that have, either not able to access therapy. There's still way too many people like that out there. But thanks, notification on email. Or, people that have done a lot of therapy, and because it's very cookie cutter, it hasn't worked for them. And I think a lot of people end up feeling really just like more dysfunctional or defective or beyond help. That's not so. The help that they were given was not what was going to work for them. And that's not a failing on their part. That's not something wrong with them. That's something wrong with the therapy. Therapy is supposed to be therapeutic. In the short term, therapy is hard. But if you've been sticking at something for more than a month and you're not feeling any better, your therapist should be able to change approaches with you. or refer you to someone with a different approach that is more suitable for you. Because some people might be, horribly discouraged with how I deal with hard things. Some people may find thinking about it too much, they have to kind of lie to themselves to get through it. No judgment. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. The whole point is these are hard things. Just be careful you're not being an asshole to other people and making things even harder for them to make it easier for yourself. That's one caveat, but still the greater point holds. Just because something's going to work for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just because, something doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to be successful for somebody else. People are different. And an effective system celebrates and empowers those differences instead of making people feel like crap for them. But that's not the system we live in, and that's why I have to do videos like this. So hopefully you find this a bit helpful. Hopefully this hard period for me, difficult period for me, will go on for weeks, not months. I'm not sure I have months in me. But head down, keep through it. Sucks. Nothing I can do about it. Again, that's not negativity. That's reality. Because the positive underlying all of this that people who are like, don't be negative, can't see is that I'm not doing the Western square jawed hero. I'm doing the anime character that doesn't think they can do it and then ends up doing it. Right? Right. Does that make any sense? Anyway, if you like Wellness Wednesdays, they don't get the same traffic as other things, but they do seem to help people. So help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/Leanna K. Thanks for watching.